Scott from HHS. He came from the government agency that paid for the virus to help psyop me into thinking COVID was a big deal and I should be afraid. Alert revolving light revolving light revolving light. Scott had a ponytail. He was wearing plastic booties over his shoes, a plastic outfit from head to toe, plastic gloves, a mask and a shield and a plastic hairnet. He wasn't there to hear what I had to say. He told me he was a registered nurse. He was concerned with my YouTube, Birdman Bob to the power of 4 inches. Videos I posted about nursing home abuse. I came to this nursing home for 6 weeks of physical therapy and then to have a heart operation that would make a new man out of me. Because of protocols from HHS. I'm permanently disabled, far worse than I was before my operation, because the HHS incentivizes $14,000 per person nursing home lockdown fees. Instead of receiving 6 weeks of physical therapy, Rotama Nursing Home put me directly in quarantine. I had COVID and got over it. I had natural immunity. And I had common sense logic. And I knew what COVID was as soon as it was safe and effective to protest with BLM and Antifa. But going to church or school or the beach with the next person a half a mile away, you were somehow going to kill grandma. Anyway, Scott was there not to help me but to make me understand Dr. Fauci was a man of science and what they were doing was perfectly following Mr. Science. But I did my own.
The reason I complained to HHS was the lockdown. They took away my toothbrush and toothpaste, and I got an infection that cost me 3 of my front teeth. And now those teeth have fallen out finally, and I believe if you broke it, you bought it. The HHS was one delivering the protocols of taking everybody's toothbrush away. So the HHS should provide people compensation, especially for damages they caused by infections that caused people the loss of their teeth. I don't think that sounds unreasonable.
But I did my own research. The media demonized people for doing that. The physical therapy center nursing home became a horror show, placing all of the staff and from head to toe burkas, plastic boots and gloves, mask and shield. They didn't mind. They were told they were going to get paid $5 more per hour.
The company that did that was called Rotama. They defrauded all of the employees that they were told they was going to get an extra $5 an hour to abuse the elderly. Rotama took the money and didn't pay the employees. And they sold the Rotama to Windsor Morgan and pocketed 100 people times 14,000 a head is, I believe, 1,700,000.
But Rotama sold the nursing home and were the ones who did the money laundering and didn't share in the profits with those they told they get the extra pay for abusing the elderly, taking everybody's personal private property away, including mine. 100% of the nursing home, they couldn't have their toothbrush or any other personal property. The resulting infection I got in my face made 3 of my front teeth come out, to where I joined CAP. They sent me to the dentist to get it fixed, but once they found out I would need upper dentures, they didn't want to pay, even though they gave Jesse the credit card. Now 2 years later, the front caps fell out, leaving a razor-sharp juice cutting my lip on the inside. Then I went 6 more times to the dentist. Each time I was...
There's video evidence of all this on my YouTube account and over on X. If you search X for Bob Nordberg and Birdman Bob 4 nursing home abuse, you can find all of the videos at either location.
Then I went 6 more times to the dentist. Each time I was turned away, not one tooth was touched. Then, because a new sheriff is coming to town named Robert Kennedy Jr., they said they would fix it. They had somebody come in and x-ray my teeth, only to find out
only because I said I was going to file a complaint with the new HHS director did they have somebody come and x-ray my teeth. They had me go over and over and over, have my hopes get up just to have my hopes drop down to the floor. 7 times I was sent to the dentist and not one tooth was touched. But only because I was going to have Robert Kennedy Jr. and the new HHS look into this did they have a dentist come out and say that they were going to take care of this. But still, that hasn't happened. So that would be 8 times.
Only to find out it's going to cost me personally $5,000. I was taught you broke it, you bought it. 6.
If they take this $5,000 out for my teeth, it'll cancel my purchase of a wheelchair that I need. I'm 6'2" and I need a larger wheelchair. They've already been approved for, and it was canceled twice because of another fraudulent purchase. I need a wheelchair, and I want an electric Yamaha wheelchair that I was approved for twice. And I want a set of teeth. I don't want just dentures. I want real teeth.
6 months after the quarantine, I had my heart operation New Year's 2 years ago. But this time I wasn't prepared. I did go through 6 weeks of physical therapy But because of the operation after pancreatitis, I was 5 days backed up full of poop. I died on the operating table. They had to use paddles to bring.
I warned them at the nursing home and at the hospital that I was way backed up full of poop and I needed to have my poop come up. But this was New Year's evening a year ago from this last New Year's. And they went ahead with the operation. I died on the operating table. My heart stopped, and I received another stroke that affected my head and made me dizzy all the time.
They had to use paddles to bring me back. My heart rate stopped to 30 beats a minute. They broke me, and that they can never fix. The head nurse Letty forced me against my will to take a PCR test, which I knew had 75% false positive rate, or she wasn't going to let me go to my operation for hours later. After she scraped my brain with a stick with some cotton on it all the way in and raped me against my will. We stared at the PCR test for 10 minutes. She said it was pink. I said no, it's not, it's white. Look, she said, you wait, it'll turn pink. I said I have natural immunity, let me have my operation. She refused. I was pissed.
I called the admitting nurse where I was supposed to have my operation 4 hours later. Her name is Mother Teresa. She's an actual nun at Shoreline Hospital in Corpus Christi. She'll verify that I called and I said I had a negative test. Please help me, Mother Teresa, help me get my operation. And Mother Teresa couldn't do anything either.
I was pissed. I knew this was a money laundering operation. I do my own research. And they hate that. At Shoreline Hospital, actual nun comes out your paperwork for incoming. I called her and begged her for help, and her name is Mother Mary. The first said, Mother Mary, please help me, I need this operation. Not even Mother Mary could help me. I called my doctor, his office says they're over at Bay Area Hospital, he would do nothing either. I know they can't fix my heart, they broke that forever. All I want and feel I deserve a new set of teeth and not dentures. And I want Robert Kennedy Jr. She used me as an example of other things they got wrong. This involves Ratana being sold to Windsor Morgan, the names of those who did the false tests and abused everybody here. They considered 100% of the nursing home COVID positive whether they were or not, because they got $14,000 ahead for equivalent of $1,700,000. Then wrote Thomas sold it to Windsor Morgan, same staff, same people, new ownership. And they don't want to take the liability of the company they bought. Well, I know a little bit about.
They told me they weren't responsible because that was the previous owner.
Well, I know a little bit about business. When you buy a company, you buy the liabilities as well as the positive. But they're all following protocols just like 1930s Germany. They hate me, I don't care. I've heard more than one nurse say she wished they didn't miss Mr. Trump. For 40 years Rotoma had the sliding glass door open so that residents go outside and get fresh air when the business was open during the day. Now they keep the doors to outside locked like a prison. The staff have to act like prison guards and let everybody out for a few breaks today, and only the smokers go out when a half hour is up. They want to wheel and back in quickly. Because they're low on staff. They filled each floor with huge vending machines. Stop giving out oatmeal cookies. I'll be the inflation. I was a ballroom dance teacher for Arthur Murray's during the 70s and 80s, and then Birdman Bob with his own photo studios in Hawaii, the big fairs in California for several years, and then in Corpus Christi, Texas for $25 at Port Aransas for 7 o'clock. I stopped tape recording Scott to show him a video on my timeline and show him that I'm a human. I wanted him to see me as a human because I studied what happens to people when you're abducted by somebody.
Scott is the HHS person that came out to take my complaint. He wasn't there to hear what I had to say or help me get teeth. He was there to make excuses and tell me to put on my mask and follow Dr. Fauci's protocols.
I stopped tape recording Scott to show him a video on my timeline and show him that I'm a human. I wanted him to see me as a human because I studied what happens to people when you're abducted by somebody. You're supposed to make them see you as a human, so I connected with him. Both of us were in the Navy and both of us lived in Washington, D.C. area, so I stopped my video and showed him this one. From 25 years ago at the Corpus Christi Trade Center, a little baby hoping Scott would see me as a human. The voice of the aide you hear in this video is very nice, but she had a stroke in her face because of the shot, I believe, along with 2 other nurses at work. You can hear her tell my roommate he needs to get ready, he's got to go for dialysis. Because he needs that to stay healthy and stay alive.
The morning after they canceled my heart operation, my roommate got to go for dialysis every 3 days. Why was I worthless and he was worth something? I don't know.
He got to go to the doctors and get dialysis treatment on the same morning my heart operation got canceled. Why was I worthless? Why was my life not worth as much as his? They were short of staff, making these people put on a plastic burqa from head to toe like they were working at the Wuhan lab or something. Here's a compilation video of all the nurses telling me over and over. No, Mr. Norberg, you can't have your toothbrush, your toothpaste, your wallet, your watch, your personal private property. All of that is covered positive. I don't blame them. They were just following protocols like 1930s Germany. Where I've done my research on eugenics and the history of eugenics and the connection to Nazi Germany. 100% of the nurses and doctors belong to the Nazi Party. All of our nurses and doctors were told that they were essential workers. They don't stop to think, what about the rest of the people, the non-essentials? Anyway, I teach them about history and the connection to what happened during COVID and how it relates to what happened in Nazi Germany in 1930s. They don't like to learn history with me. Here's a compilation video of nurses and aides saying on audio, no, Mr. Norberg, you can't have.
Nobody here wants to know what they got wrong. Nobody here wants to know the protocols they were following was from a man that now has a preemptive blanket immunity and is guilty of crimes against humanity. Nobody wants to know ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine could work. Nobody wants to know that remdesivir gives 60% of the people they gave it to renal failure. They don't want to know that those that were put on ventilators over in New York and eastern states, that 90% of those people put on a ventilator, they don't want to know if they died. They don't want to know.
Of nurses and aides saying on audio, "No, Mr. Norberg, you can't have your own toothbrush, that's COVID positive." Here's a video in the van with Jesse, the driver from Ratana Windsor Nursing Home in Corpus Christi, Texas, who drove me to the dentist 7 times. Here is confirming with me it's been a total of 7 times. Nice guy. They make him wear the mask all day, every day. It bothers me that they do that because I know about the Cochrane studying how unhealthy that is and how unhealthy physically and mentally, especially of people who normally can't hear very well, having to communicate with people that are wearing masks. Here's Jess's phone number. Feel free to verify everything I've said with Jesse. 956-902-2845. Roommate conversation who went to dialysis while my heart valve operation was multiply cancelled, loudly crying. Contemporaneous notes: after the 4th time I've been brought by Jesse to a dentist office only to be turned away.
The only reason I started audio taping what was happening to me is I knew that nobody in the world would believe this. Otherwise, I would never have secretly recorded nursing staff.
This nurse Marine refused me blood pressure medication doctors had prescribed for me after my blood pressure was 280/190.
This is true. I was allowed to get blood pressure medication before going for workouts, walking with my walker. Because as I walked with my walker, that's when my blood pressure went up. So they tested me and my blood pressure was 280/190. I was refused blood pressure medication, even though that's a level that would kill you or give you a stroke or a heart attack. And then there's a second video of me confronting them with it, and they laughed at me. And then they told me only they would give me blood pressure medication if I deleted the videos when they figured out they were being secretly recorded. They wanted to kill me.
This nurse Marine refused me blood pressure medication doctors had prescribed for me after my blood pressure was 280/190. Attempted homicide. Alert: revolving light, 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 revolving light. Nurses Marine and Connie laugh at me about my super high blood pressure and denying me the medication. Attempted homicide. Alert: revolving light, 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 revolving light. A nurse told me after I was sitting outside the day Trump got shot in the air and others died at that event, she was sitting next to me on her breakout of cigarette while I was playing a video on my phone having to do with Trump. She told me on the elevator she wished they didn't miss Trump, so I made a contemporaneous note. I asked Letty what the nurse's name was and she said she didn't know, and they are allowed to have their own political opinions. Alert: revolving light, 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 revolving light. I've made videos about the Pfizer vaccine side effects they tried to hide for 75 years using GorkAI, and when I play that along with other videos about the harm caused by wearing masks continuously, using the Cochrane study which shows that masks are not safe and effective and it's just a protocol made by a doctor who now has preemptive blanket immunity, I told them all we should stop following the protocols from Mr. Science while playing this video of side effects from Pfizer. The social worker came out and interrupted my free speech while delivering the speech to a brand new hire who was...
She physically came out and stopped me from informing a new recreational aid that masks don't work, they're not effective, and that elderly people, a lot of them have hard of hearing and they need to read lips if they can't hear well. But they stopped me from playing the Cochrane study. It was a download of the Cochrane study I was playing, and they violated my free speech. But then in doing so, the next day or 2 days later on Valentine's, all of the other Hispanic and black residents, they told me to get out of the room because they abused me. Then
The social worker came out and interrupted my free speech while delivering the speech to a brand new hire who is a young lady who works as an activities director. She's speaking with people throughout activities like bingo, nail painting, and other activities. I explained to her that many older people see masks on people when they have hard of hearing. They used to be able to back up their hearing by reading lips, and some people like myself wearing a mask reminds me of what I know about slavery, and it's a way of controlling people. Well, the social worker, she ended up my free speech and maybe come to her office. I said no, and I filed a complaint against her with Connie, the activities director. I've had conversations with her about why I still boycott the NFL. I told her that I believe the NFL is one of the corporations that tried to help divide America. They had people get on their knee while singing the national anthem, and then during the Kansas City Chiefs game they play the black national anthem, and I told her, if you need to put a color in front of the words national anthem, you are the definition of a racist. I told her that BLM was a Marxist organization trained by the Weather Underground, which is 100% true. She was very triggered by my right wing. I could tell she didn't like me. But she was the one for over a month that was supposed to arrange for me to sign paperwork after a dentist came to x-ray me for dentures. A month.
And only because I complained to Connie about that delay did the next day she try to have me pay $8,000 for my teeth.
A month went by and nothing happened. So as soon as I filed a complaint with Connie, she got with me and finally told me what the scoop was on getting my teeth fixed. It's going to cost me $5,000, and that comes out of the money that's supposed to go to work the wheelchair that I've been waiting for over a year for, electric Yamaha wheelchair that got ordered and then canceled because of a payment that was taken out. What happened is they